Okay.
Hello, I'm Maggie McDaniel from the Plainfield Library, and this is my book talk. The book that I'm going to be discussing today briefly is called Above the East China Sea by Sarah Bird. This was a terrific book. I don't know how I picked it off the shelf to read it. I think maybe I had read some reviews. I really wasn't expecting much because even though this was the author's ninth book, I had not read her before. But this book was phenomenal. Sarah Bird spent her early childhood on the island of Okinawa. She was a military brat. Her parents were in the military, and she and her 5 siblings lived on an Air Force base in Okinawa, and she always had fond memories of what she calls an enchanted island. And the Okinawas were a gentle, non-aggressive, peaceful, generous people who, of course, had been invaded by the Japanese during World War II. And Sarah Bird says that she waited most of her life to read a book about the battle for Okinawa, told from the Okinawans' point of view. And she got to be 60 years old and realized that maybe no one was ever going to write this book, and that some of the Okinawans who had actually survived the battle were now extremely old people, and they were dying off. And she said she had access to a lot of their diaries, and she actually interviewed many of them that have migrated to the United States. And she decided she was going to write that book herself. The book is told from the viewpoint of 2 teenage girls. One of them is a contemporary teen. Her mother is in the Air Force, and she is stationed in Okinawa on an Air Force base. The girl is in high school, and she is very depressed because her much adored older sister has just been killed in Afghanistan. So she is contemplating committing suicide. The other young teenager in the story is a teenager during World War II. Her name is Tamiko, and she is a Princess Lily girl, which is an elite group of high school girls who have been sent to an elite high school in Okinawa. It's a huge honor, and these girls go on to be very successful in professional lives. But what happened during the war is that the Japanese army, which of course had invaded Okinawa, went into these high schools and took the girls and forced them to be nurses in their cave hospitals. And these were nothing but, they were horrible. They were underground, they were overcrowded, they had little medicine, no anesthesia. And these innocent 13 to 15-year-old girls were forced to be nurses to the suffering Japanese soldiers. So this story is about a link between these 2 girls, the modern teenager and young Tamiko, who is a nurse in the horrible cave hospitals. I didn't realize how truly awful the Battle of Okinawa was. It was the worst battle in the Pacific Theater. Over 150,000 native Okinawans were killed. Many of them committed suicide by jumping off the cliffs. They had been brainwashed by the Japanese into believing that the Americans would murder and rape them. And so they preferred suicide to being captured or even invaded by the Americans. This is just a fabulous book. The 2 girls are such intriguing characters. There's a link between them, the modern girl discovers. And it's just, it has a lovely ending. It's very life-affirming. It was an unforgettable book. I just can't, I can't tell you how much time I've spent thinking about this book long after I finished it. Thank you.